All right, you ready, Mace? I want to call to order the regular meeting of the Iberville Parish Council, Tuesday, June 17th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Can we get a roll call, please, Miss Macy?
Allen. Here. Easley. Here. Dominique.
Here.
Frazier. Here.
Here.
Jenkins. Here. Marcus.
Here.
Bradford. Bradford.
Here.
Martinez. Here. Dark.
Here.
Jewel.
Here.
Morgan.
Here.
Smith.
Here. Let the minutes reflect that we do have a quorum. This time I'd like to ask Councilman Bradford to lead us in the pledge.
I, in the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I want to remind the public that anyone that'd like to speak tonight must register first with the clerk. And we do have a present comprehensive evaluation of the Iberville Substance Abuse Center by Southern Evels.
Thank you, Parish Council, for letting us come and present on what we've been working with on the parish. My name is Taylor Catano. I'm the CEO of Southern Evals, as we are a regulatory compliance and research firm. We're primarily located in Louisiana, but working in 30 different states, doing primarily healthcare, but also special projects for parishes just like yours. It's a pleasure to be back. I know we worked with y'all during COVID-19, as hectic as that was, but Randall called and he wanted to do a quick deep dive into the Substance Abuse Center, focusing on three things. Number one, what is it doing currently? Number two, what can the money that we're getting for the opioid settlement be used for? And then three, looking at a strategic plan to move forward. This is Joseph Tebow, one of our principal consultants. He's a behavioral health and substance abuse specialist that's worked with some larger behavioral health hospitals and also substance abuse centers, and he also helped me with this project. So the first thing we looked at was, where Iberville is today. In the midst of a behavioral health crisis, we're seeing rising overdoses, economic hardships, issues with transportation, and also facilities like the one that you have just being underutilized. Whenever we really looked at the center, at its core, really what it does is it supports your drug court program, and it does a good job at that. But when we look deeper at where the direction it was headed or what it was doing in terms of producing data that we can make actions off of, we found a couple of different things. Number one, primarily it's serving your core mandated clients, but there's number one, a lack of structure. No formalized scheduling, no formalized programming that's being pushed through there, and also limitations when it comes to being able to bill for some of the services we provide. We do provide some of the services, but we're turning folks down from outside parishes where we could be helping those folks. We looked at your parish and we found that transportation, among a multitude of different things, is an issue, just like a bunch of our rural parishes. Also, with it being called a substance abuse center, there's a certain stigma where folks don't want to necessarily walk in or approach a place with the name substance abuse, so they're going to be hesitant when it comes to seeking treatment or seeking help. When we look at the opioid settlement funds, sometimes it's hard to dissect exactly what those things to be used for. And we found that there's a lot of opportunities that we're now reaching to the public, we're now reaching to providers, that there's folks that need help, there's folks that want to help, and you've got a great opportunity to do that with your center. So what we did is we looked at given a roadmap on exactly how these funds could be used. So whenever you look at the settlement, for those that don't know what it was from, there was opioid companies got into a lawsuit about abuse, and there were reparations paid, especially in Louisiana. Your parish gets funds and your sheriff gets funds. There are certain things that you can do with these funds and certain things you cannot. Really, the main focus they wanted to have is it cannot be rolled into something that they called a pothole, which is like we can't use these opioid settlement funds to build roads or to build things like that. But what we can do is we can do things all around opioid treatment and abuse. So we came up with 4 pillars, and I'm gonna let Joseph walk you through those. But we put these buckets in access, increasing access, increasing education in the community, building infrastructure, and collaboration. So, Joseph.
Thank you, guys. Joseph Tebow. So yeah, access is kind of what we wanted to provide more information for the community. And once we went and looked at what was there, we seen there was a lack of access. There are some resources, probably one resource that is providing services in this community, and they have been here for some time, and we plan to be able to work well with them as well. But access would be our number one thing that we want to focus on. From their education, and education will start all the way from the children. The educational programs that the children are actually getting now to talk about substance abuse or not saying no to drugs are good, but they can be improved on as we continue to progress through this. Infrastructure. The current facility that we have now is limited in the amount of resources that it can provide for the community. There's 1 room, there's also 2 providers. I think expanding on that to make it something more unique that people will feel comfortable coming to, and maybe adding more providers would allow us to be able to provide the infrastructure needed to keep up with the times. And then collaboration. Like I said, we want to reach out to be able to the other people who working in the community and providing services. That could be counselors, that could be nurse practitioners, that could be doctors, that can also be other facilities, and provide that resource. So when someone comes into the facility, they can say, I'm dealing with X. How can you help me to be able to find the resources in my community or potentially outside? But ideally, it would be let's work within our community first before we expanding to have to cross the bridge just to be able to get services. And we know how hard that can be at times, depending on the time that you have to go there. Not counting dealing with mental health and our substance abuse, the time frame to be able to get those services could be months out. Right? 3 months sometimes if you have to see a counselor for whatever reason. So we want to bring those resources to the parish, partner with those companies who want to work with this parish and expand on that. We put together a little bit what we felt like what the first year should look like. As you guys can see, you can go through that. Looking for some leadership and workflow in the facility and the current need would probably be the most important thing. We want to educate the community. We just don't want to be a place to where, hey, this is substance abuse, this is mental health. No, we want to provide education. And we believe education provides awareness, allowing people to break the stigma down just a little bit and feel more comfortable with coming into the facility and saying, I need help, or can you help my family member, or I'm dealing with this. But trauma does not just lie within the people who are dealing with it. It affects the family as well. Dealing with those things with somebody who's having a substance abuse issue, those people need treatment as well, or even dealing with it from what you might have been through in the past. So we want to address that as a whole, not just saying the problem that's at hand, dealing with the families as this unfolds to be able to bring them back together at whatever capacity. Crisis stabilization unit and plans for a potential task force. That's our plan to be able to work with the hospitals as well as the sheriff office to make sure that there's an education process to understand when a person is going through a mental health crisis, that they bring them to the hospital and they understand the process the hospital has to follow by state regulations and laws, and what holes they can provide for a resident based on what they're dealing with, and just communicate that between the two to bridge the gap. And then produce digital resources and a media campaign. We want to educate, especially dealing with the kids, want to meet them where they are. And that's online most of the time. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Dealing with the phones, going into these social media platforms, educating them on not just all the other things that's going on in the world, but this is the resources that we have here in this community. And that can be through videos or even campaigns that we can post to create content. That's how we see the first year as a whole. We really appreciate the opportunity that you guys gave us to do this. I think there's a great building block here, and we look forward to be able to work with you all.
Absolutely. And in closing, I think everybody can agree we've all had someone either close to us or in a circle that we know that struggle with substance abuse. These funds, they can be used for a lot more than just treating folks that are struggling. It can be prevention, it could be infrastructure, it could be things that continue way past when we're here. So we look forward to working with the parish on initiating and activating this plan, and are definitely open to any questions, and I appreciate the time.
Well, first off, I applaud you with the presentation. It looks like you put a lot of thought and effort into it. I guess my first question would be, how do we incorporate this into our parish process? I mean, it's nice looking at this. It's a good plan, but we have to find a way to incorporate this on a timely basis and not let it linger on.
So this is kind of I want to say my baby. This is something I want to see. I want to see through. By the time, hopefully, if God permits, I'm here for another 6 years, and I want to see a marked improvement in this department. I think there's a stigma, where it's the Iberville Parish Substance Abuse Center, and it's like, well, what is that for? Is that only for somebody who's seeking help for substance abuse? And yeah, I mean that's one thing that they do, but the goal is to catch somebody who's at risk. You got somebody who is going through something in their life, depression, they got going through a divorce or whatever, and catch them when they're at risk before they spiral off into that substance abuse. So it has to be tackled from both angles, through prevention and treatment. So the worst thing we could have done is just rushed and go and find a director without a plan. So that's what they hear. Scratching my head, I wish I would have thought of them sooner. They helped us with the COVID plans, when we went through all that. And I called him and I said, do y'all do that? Do y'all do this type of work? And he said, yeah. He said, we got somebody on staff who handles, who does that for us. So that's how they ended up with us. And now that we got a plan, I think instead of just giving it to somebody and saying, hey, you the new director, make it work. I mean, I think you can attract somebody if somebody who's really good, if you actually have that plan in place already, and they can come and offer, their perspective on that plan also. And there's plenty of partners here too in the parish that we can, it's all about, hey, we get this person comes in the door, first thing is behavioral health. And we might have a group going on once a week, grief counseling group. We may have marriage counseling, sessions going on. And if we can't help them, well, then who do you go to help them? We need to have those resources and say, look, we really don't have the resources to help you here, but we can get you here, or we can get you in touch with this person. And a lot of it is follow up too.
So what's the first step to do that? You said a lot of stuff. What's the first step?
The first step is to move forward in them and start implementing the plan and to find this director. We have the
Find a
plan.
director. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question or comment or whatever. Mr. Round, I heard you say it was your baby,
Yeah.
but I hate surprises. I mean, I think in the last couple of months we were talking, what's the name of the company we were looking at? Wood Lake, they came in and do it. And I understand it's a consultant that y'all hired. And I think one thing he had on there, he had to hire a clinical director and his first year, some other things that's on here.
Yeah.
I mean, we look at it. Well, I was under the impression when Wood Lake came and did the presentation, because I've been sharing some things with them, and I mean, I didn't know you had a consultant came in, and you were trying to get a consultant before we get the director for the behavior unit, and then here he brought the presentation in a year, and he has to hire another clinical director, and then he has to initiate this is a lot.
Yeah, I know. That's why we why we putting together the plan.
So why did we bring Wood?
So Wood Lake is a community partner.
Correct,
They don't
correct.
they don't get taxes from the parish, and they don't have a
Yeah, I
contract with the
understand that,
parish.
but they
Yeah.
were okay.
I don't understand the question, I guess.
Well,
Yeah. But I think that would have been a real surprise if I'd have walked in here to, told you, hey, here's our new clinical director. That would have been a surprise. So
No, it wouldn't have been a real surprise. It would have been, you should have said,
We should have had a plan and presented to y'all.
It's
And
like
that's-
another surprise we just got in the other meeting. It's
Well,
like,
so you had
something to the
but
board.
at the other meeting you had someone who came forward and said, hey, here's what we can do for the community.
Yeah.
Now I got a consultant here who has talked to Wood Lake, and they are a component. They're a community partner.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
Well,
we have been
be-
meeting with him, correct?
with him.
Yeah, before they brought the presentation, correct? Met with them before they brought the
yeah.
presentation to us, correct?
Wood Lake didn't present a
I said
comprehensive.
him.
Yeah, I'm sure I did.
So you
Yeah.
met with them.
Yeah.
So you think it would have been nice to say, well, y'all meet with a consultant. They're going to bring some ideas to our June meeting.
Well, well, look, hey, be that as it may,
Yeah, I don't-
let's move
I
forward
don't-
because I'm all for moving forward. And you just said, Randall, and I want to confirm that your first order of business to implement this plan is to get a director, right?
Yes, the first order of business was to present y'all with a plan, and that's what we're here
Okay,
doing.
but from this point on, your first order of business is to get a director,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
once you move forward with that, communicate with us,
Yeah.
about that, and we can move forward on it.
To get a new director, was that in the budget we approve of? Or we gonna have to?
So if you work, yes, it is in the budget.
I
It is
understand
in the budget
director
you
was
approved,
The director
yes.
of all the
Yes, yes. And
council on aging.
and if
Is that the same director, or there's two directors?
the director of the Council on Aging,
The community one y'all interviewing for. So
No.
we look for two directors now.
no,
Just everyone's.
we're looking for
So we got two separate
we're looking for a clinical
Yeah.
director who's
This
certified.
has nothing to do with the other one.
I understand that, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to get understanding because I'm thinking that the other one we're interviewing for, wasn't this one over the behavior unit too? In the budget.
So yes, ma'am, you are correct. So
Okay.
this position, totally separate positions.
I understand.
This position is within the budget. There was no reason for us to go out there and hire a behavioral health director for our department when we didn't know the needs of the department. So we hired Southern Evals, which falls underneath our professional services contract, and we outsourced to them to go out and find and provide those needs and those resources. Now, they recently just provided us with a packet that once they give us enough copies, we're going to give you each council members all of their findings so you can review that. But exactly what you said, Mr. Smith, the main thing and the first thing that they identified that we are going to do now that we have the research and they've provided the format of the future of the behavior health is to go out there and find that right director, because we couldn't go out there and say we're hiring a director with certain clinical expertise if it was the wrong expertise that we needed. Right, so we've always had substance abuse, and in the remodel, the reorg that we structured last year that the council approved this behavioral health director. We have not hired that person yet because we didn't want to rush into that decision and make the wrong decision. So that's why we're outsourcing underneath our professional services. Everything that we're doing is not straying from anything that we've done in the past. We go out and we do the research before, and then we bring the information to the council.
Again,
So
I'm
that
gonna
is that is being done.
Again, I'm gonna ask, according to the reorganization chart that the other consultant came and had presented in, the behavior health director, if this position is underneath the council, the community, are these two separate people? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, ma'am.
They're two separate people.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But according to the organization chart, it was one person.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
It's not.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
I do have, and I did talk to you guys, and I appreciate you taking the time. And I do think some of the confusion is, we've been at this since probably September. I brought this to y'all attention. It was like, hey, look, this is a need. And then I presented Woodlake, and it's kind of like I've been meeting with Woodlake since September, and they do have the resources, they do have the services, and I've talked to them about it. And I told them my concern only is if we go and hire this director, I feel like you're just adding another person to the team that you already have, that they're going to be like, okay, what resources do we have? I thought Woodlake played such a big part in it because of the resources they have, the connections they have. Not saying if you come to us for services, we're going to send you just to Woodlake. Woodlake can offer more. But I still stand where I want to see Woodlake's involvement in this. They're here. And I think that's what the frustrations is kind of like, we do need to partner with somebody who knows where the resources are to send people. But we do have someone saying, hey, we're here to offer our help. And it's kind of like, okay, if we go out and hire just somebody, who's making the decision on the director? I guess it's
Well, the parish is going to make a decision
right,
on
but
the director.
or is
But Chris did say that Woodlake is one of our partners. He
I agree with
just
that.
said
Yeah,
that.
I'm just concerned about hiring a new director.
Yeah, but let me clarify that too. Woodlake is a partner in the community. They're not here to run the parish government. They're not here to run our behavioral health department. We have partners in the community that we team up with and we partner with, right?
Right.
So we need our own staff to help lead that department. Prior to our administration coming in, that department was known only as substance abuse. We're trying to broaden what we offer for the residents of Iberville Parish. And this is a step in that right direction. They provided a plan tonight by showing you just a snippet because we told them they want to meet the small timeline. They would be glad to meet with any of the council members and give them an hour presentation. But at a council meeting, we're trying to present that information within a 3 to 5 minute period. There is a lot more information that they can provide to you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
And if you don't mind, I'll close with this. I think one of the things we found was transparency, and there's no data tracked in this. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration comes for. Where we want to aim is to be able to take actionable steps, provide that to you guys so you know something is happening, and then provide the data behind, are we doing a good job or not? And that way we can change direction. But through this, we're more than willing to meet with anybody. What we want to make is a pathway for partners to participate, but also build something for the parish as well.
Right.
Thank
He's
you.
not frustrated, he's concerned.
Sure.
Thank
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's a great idea with the data you said, because it does say a lot. You could track that and say, hey, this is working.
Yeah.
You know, to where we can see the evidence of what direction we're going in, if we're having success or not. So, and I think that would be a good thing for you guys.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to the reading and approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to forego the reading of the minutes and accept as written.
Got a motion by Ms. Jenkins. Second by Mr. Markins. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Beasley,
Yes.
Dominique, Fraser,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yeah.
Bradford,
Yes.
Barnett,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Morgan.
Motion carries. We'll move on to Mr. President.
All right. Thank you, Councilman. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to start off. I did have on my notes to talk a little bit more, but we hit on that already, our behavioral health. Our employee recognitions this month, in the month of June, we had one employee that hit 29 years of service. They had another something else going on tonight, so they couldn't be here, but I do want to recognize Miss Stephanie Glenn in our finance department. She's our finance assistant director. She has been with the parish for 29 years, so definitely an accomplishment. We do have a couple other employees. I didn't kind of look behind me and see who was here. I have a 10-year recognition. I have Frederick Williams, Mr. Frederick with the utility department. There he is. So he's been with the utility department for 10 years. Want to thank him for the service. Come on up, Fred. If you're here, if I call your name, come on up. Miss Hope Irwin, she's also been with the utility department for 10 years. Thank you. We do have a couple 5-year recognitions. We have Mr. Eric Willis. He's been here with Director of IPOD for the last 5 years. I know he's not going to talk because I have him on your agenda next month, so he's going to come and give an IPRD presentation to you next month. And then we do have another recognition, Mr. Ronald LeBlanc, in maintenance, 5 years. I got off for them to say a few words. Also, we do have our Director of Grants, Ms. Brittany DuPont. She did introduce herself to all of the council members prior to the council meeting. So I do want to recognize Ms. Brittany is here today. So thank you, Ms. Brittany, for joining our team. She's already hit the ground running and is working towards a few grants on the state level. And we are getting some information from our senators and congressmen on the federal level so we can start applying for some of those grants on the federal level. In our operations, we did have our mayor's meeting, our monthly mayor's meeting. It was held in St. Gabriel last week. We did meet at their new city hall. It is not up and operating, but the city of St. Gabriel has a new city hall that they're going to be operating, opening in the next few months. We did have our DPW chief, Mr. John Overton, and our foreman, Mr. Jason Landry, which now represents the St. Gabriel community, and that team that's going to represent DPW. They were there and they kind of spoke with the mayors about the progress and our future commitment, because we are one step closer to acquiring a location in St. Gabriel where we are actually going to have a facility and equipment that's going to be across the river all the time. So I know that's going to please some of the council members and some of our residents. We do have the Highway 1 South by Dow cleanup efforts, or as far as the machinery on site, it is complete. There are some other things that we have to do as far as bringing some of the material that's actually left over on the ground, because we were actually able to mulch probably 95% of the product and the vegetation. We did not have to haul off. We did not have to tie up our sanitation trucks with our boom trucks. We didn't have to haul that off. We were able to mulch it on site with a newly piece of equipment that we purchased recently. The Highway 1 culvert project is in progress, Mr. Dominic, Mr. Markins, in your district. There is a small holdup now because we identified a water line. The city of Plaquemine has a water line that is running less than 4 feet underneath the surface where that culvert is coming through, and we may have to lower it. So we're working with the city of Plaquemine right now to identify how low that water line is going to have to be lowered before that culvert can come through.
I'd like to thank you for the cleanup in my district. About the trees getting put down. I had a bunch of calls throughout my years, and most of them are, "Hey, we need this look bad, but a lot of positive about that cleanup by the railroad. You see where we at right there. Appreciate it.
You did a good job.
That's
Well, I'm here every day. Y'all did a
great job.
Yeah.
great job.
No, that was definitely it was definitely part of our beautification project. I was at a CAP meeting today at Dow. They complimented it as well, but also reminded them, "Hey, Dow, we need your assistance in making sure that we help keep it clean. Now we're cleaning everything up. We need to make sure the trash stays picked up and things like that." So
positive calls on it.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well, good. Yes, sir. Next item is our Bayou Blue burn site. After the tornadoes and the hurricane that came through last year, really more important, the tornadoes, we had a lot of debris on the north end of the parish, and we really didn't have a site identified. We were very, very inefficient with our operations, so we identified a location on Highway 386 on Bayou Blue, and now we're going to have a burn site in that area. So that's really going to be help with the operations of any debris sites. Next one is recently, last week, we actually had the National Weather Service, a meteorologist from New Orleans came down and met with our directors just to give an update on the upcoming hurricane season. We did have our 2 new boom trucks that are still on order. We've been talking about these since that we've ordered months ago. They are set. I did get with Brandon today, and they are set to arrive in July. So we're one step closer to getting our 2 new boom trucks. Bayou Pigeon boat launch. This is particularly saying that cameras were installed. We also identified the need for a second dumpster on site because of just the amount of debris during crawfish season. So we did complete that, and it's actually making some improvements. And then also they, with the high water, they stopped the Bayou Pigeon boat launch improvements for the new 5 launch site, but that is going to be starting back very soon, if it didn't start this week already. So that's going to be a project coming in. Camp 360, another good event, started a few years back. Is going very well. We have over 100 participants. But one thing that I'm tasking our administration with is to make sure that we take this event and grow it across the parish. So how can we get a Camp 360 for Rosedale? How can we get a Camp 360 and team up with St. Gabriel? White Castle is doing one. The mayor's office has been doing one for a while in White Castle, and we're hoping to team up across the parish. And next year, any assistance we can offer them, but try to have 4 sites across the parish and make sure that more kids are impacted through the IPRD and Camp 360 program. We do have a couple projects. The bathrooms are in design. We are one step closer. I know that's been on the agenda saying it's in design. It's in design, but it is one step closer, and the architects have been viewing the sites and making sure that they've actually identified some sites that may have, they have to verify where it can tie into city sewage if it's within the city limits. And the electrical is always a concern as well, because some of those areas don't have overhead power lines, and there's a lot of trees. So they're trying to work through that process, talking with the electricians and the plumbers on how they can make those projects happen. Council members' requests, we do have, y'all did a good job of sending in some signs across the parish. So very soon, the residents are going to see on some high traffic areas where we have a lot of speeding. The council members are investing, and we already have 15 sites identified across the parish that y'all have given us roads within your districts that we're going to have the speed limit sign. And as residents drive past it, if they're going over the speed limit, it's going to flash at them, and it's going to just hopefully initiate the recognition of that driver to slow down. Right? That's the intention. So we do have 15 sites that's going to be, we're going to, hopefully within the next month, we're going to start that process. The company that we are contracting for purchase, they are going to be installing those speed limit signs. They are solar powered, so no electrical is needed. We do have Bayou Blue Water Park. That project that has been in work since last year. Engineers and the architects are almost complete with that. It was a water supply pressure issue that we've discussed in Bayou Blue, but it is going to advertise within the next 2 weeks. So, Councilman Dodd, project you've been waiting on. Capital outlay legislative request. Last month I had 4 items on the capital outlay request list that we turned into legislation last year. There was only 2 items that the legislators put into House Bill 2. And 2 of those projects are the Bayou Pigeon Flood Levee Extension Project. Ms. Easley, Councilman Easley, I know that's an important project to you, and Choctaw Drainage, which is a major drainage. This right here drains all of Plaquemine. So this is a project that's in the work, and I believe it's a $1.6 million drainage project. So that project is in priority 5 right now. The only upcoming event, summer's kind of slow with a lot of events in the public, but we do this Thursday. At the Civic Center, we do have our Juneteenth. It's going to be our 2nd annual Juneteenth event at the Civic Center. Last year, we held it at the courthouse, and it kind of got snug. It was a lot of attendees. So this year, we're moving it to the Civic Center, and it will be at 2 p.m. Are there any questions?
I just want to acknowledge we have 3 elected officials in the back from the town of White Castle. Mayor John Morris, Alderman Kip Knight, and Alderman Shamarcus
Lewis, yeah. Really, thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
We have been working with the town of White Castle on a few projects, and one of them is on the agenda tonight that Miss Allen is supporting heavily. It is a project that is good for the community, and it's going to provide some additional growth towards the future in White Castle. So thank y'all.
Christian closing.
Yes, ma'am. And then in y'all packets, I did also put the mosquito schedule. You know, I know that question is going to be coming up. So if y'all have any questions with the mosquitoes and the trucks, then just reach back out to us.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Mr. John Clark. Excellent job. I met with the media today on the Bayou Grove State cleanup.
So that is one thing I did mention today, and as Mr. Darden alluded to, Mr. John Clark spent countless hours securing a grant of $900,000 to clean the Bayou Grove State waterway. He went in there, he took pictures, he had to geotag 380 sites. He's here somewhere. There he is. So was it 386 or something? Yeah, 353. But it was a lot of sites that they had to take pictures, geotag, turn all that information in, and we did get the approval about 2 months ago that NRCS, federal government, is giving us those funds. So that project is moving forward. It's going to help clean the waterway in Bayou Grove State, which is one of our main drainage canals that comes all up Point Capee, West Baton Rouge. Yeah, all the way from Falls River comes south through Bayou Grove State. So that's going to be an important waterway to get clean. Any other questions?
Thank you, John.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you, Chairman.
President. Appreciate it. Mr. Dunn?
Good evening, Council. Council Jack, Council Clerk. We are putting the final touches on the comprehensive annual report, which will be presented to y'all at the next council meeting. Baxley and Associates will be here at the next meeting. Y'all have y'all's financial statements. We are kind of back on par with the 2023 sales tax numbers. So, although 2024 was a banner year, we feel like we're doing pretty good with those revenues for the year. So, y'all have any questions?
No questions from Mr. Dunn? Thank you, Randall. before we go into old business, I just want a point of information. The Justice of the Peace and Constables redistricting plan has been approved and it's on the governor's desk waiting to be signed. So that's moving forward. Okay, under old business, we did have a public hearing before this meeting to approve the ordinance to adopt the millage rates for the tax year 2025. I need a motion and a second. Motion by Mr.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Easley. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Motion carries. Under new business, we have several ordinances that we need to hear about to move forward to public hearings. Mr. Dunn?
So don't normally talk too much about the ordinances and save it for a public hearing, but there's one, the first one I would like to talk to y'all about, something I've been working on with the state for the last 6 months. I let y'all know probably around, let's see, July of last year when we were going through the audit that we really need to look at the rates. And it just so happened that the state of Louisiana, because we got a grant, required us to do a rate study. So I've been working with a firm by the name of Eisner Amper out of Baton Rouge on this rate study, and been going back and forth with them for 6 months to make sure that we got it right. But I want to give y'all just real quick just some history. So when y'all look at, did you hand those out? If you can hand those out for me. Just real quickly, just a history of these water districts and kind of how we got into the water business. This started back in 1960. Water District 2 was created in 1960. Then in 1971, Water District 3 was created, and in 1985, Water District 4 was created. Those districts were created to issue debt, so to improve the districts. A lot of those funds came from USDA money, and USDA did rate studies, and I think every 3 years, and basically forced the parish's hand in raising rates based on what the depreciation was. I won't get into that because I'm going to get into that in the public hearing. But fast forward to 2012, the council at that time decided, hey, look, it doesn't make sense to have these districts. We want to go ahead and abolish them because the utility department is more than capable of managing those districts. So we got rid of those districts in 2012 and in 2017. In the meantime, we started selling water. We back on Highway 1148, Terry, that's your district. We purchased water from City of Plaquemine and started selling water back there. The keynote here is that the last rate increase for what I'm gonna call the old Water District number 2, which is across the river, was 2021. The last rate increase for Water 4, which is north, was 2015. And the last rate increase for Water District 3 was 2015. So some of these districts haven't had a rate increase in 10 years. And the Choctaw area was 2016. It's fine and dandy until we hit the last 5 years and inflation set in, and the cost of doing business skyrocketed. I knew this was coming, and that's why I kind of started talking to y'all about it at the beginning of last year. I was kind of hoping, I would have a little more input on what these rates would go up. They based this study on 2023 numbers, and I've reviewed everything. The numbers are, they are correct, as far as what we need to collect to be able to sustain the water and sewer functions of the utility department. So what you have is, you'll have a study that's attached to that ordinance. I'll go over that in detail, and I'll have a lot more information at the next meeting. Take this time to review that study, and I would like y'all to, call me, and one-on-one. I want to sit down and talk to y'all about how it's going to affect the customers in your district. we have a chance to unify the rate parish-wide, and you'll see that in those examples that there was some disparity at what we were charging because the different districts operated separately. So when we brought them in, one district had one rate and the other district had another rate. So this is a more fair way to where everybody is treated as the utility department selling water now, not these individual districts. So, and it allows you to not have to, if you have an annual increase, a CPI increase, it's just going up a little bit if need be each year, rather than trying to go up, waiting 10 years and inflation gets you and trying to go up after 10 years. So I would encourage y'all to give me a call. I would like to sit down with y'all one-on-one because some areas are affected more than others because the sewer rates did go up also. So if there's community sewer, coupled with water, I need y'all to have an understanding when y'all get those phone calls that, hey, number one, it was out of our control. The state of Louisiana made us do it, and to be able to explain, those issues to constituents when they do call. So I wanted to preface that. Don't normally do that. I'll get way more detail in the public hearing because I think it's necessary that y'all get educated, when those rates do go into effect in September. Yeah.
Study out, that's something that's up.
Yeah.
It's we have a lot of people on fixed income.
Yep. Yeah.
And I looked at some of it's 30-40% increase.
Yeah. It's a 26 and a half. Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah.
Averaging, it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, and that's why we need to sit down with.
That bill go up 10% a year.
Yeah.
For, instead of hitting them all at one time.
And it's not going to be 10%. It's going to be whatever the CPI is. Like last year would have been 2.5%. So once we get this right, according to what the water sector program is telling us, we will most definitely never get in a situation again where we have, as long as I'm here,
I want to tell you this.
Yeah.
If you want to get skin up
yeah,
from your constituents, you go up on the utility bills.
yeah.
Or you don't pick that garbage up.
Yeah.
You're going to get skin up.
Yeah, and I think that was the
Yeah.
consensus over the last 10 years and why we're in a
We
situation.
get with Randall, each of us, if would, get to discuss that, and we'll move that forward.
Okay.
You want to read the other ordinance so we can vote? and
Yeah,
move
we
forward?
don't have to read them. I just wanted to tell you about that one. The second ordinance is introduction to amend the budget for purchase of a tanker truck for Fire District 1. That is not in the budget, so we need to amend it. They do have the funds available to purchase that. The third ordinance I believe, was the one we passed on the property. No, I'm sorry. The next ordinance is authorizing the parish president to purchase with library funds for the library property on Plaza Drive. Yeah, on Plaza
right.
Drive. School board owns
About
the
the civic
property.
center.
Yeah, if she'll be back for the public hearing to tell you about what they're doing. And then the third one is the one where we passed on last month. Yeah, which was the property, I think in
fourth.
White Castle. Yeah.
Table.
That's the
Table,
fourth one.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I need a motion to move to public hearing on July 15th, the
I have a
ordinance 1 through 4. Sure.
I have a question. On ordinance number 1, you was discussing, I know you said he with you, and I was trying to understand, because I think it was 5 or 6 years ago, we went up on increase of the water, and I think it was part of my area, Torres Seville. Am I correct or I'm not correct?
2015.
I'm not correct.
Yeah.
You were the only one that voted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I voted against it, so I'm trying to
Yeah,
see,
that was in,
what year was it?
the last time we went up on the intercoastal water system was in 2015. Yeah.
All right.
So
Okay, so
yeah.
I guess my next question I wanted to ask, because I know, I think when we went up on it, because of that area, and I mean, I'm just suggesting, I know they're going to be involved in it. Most people don't do internet and hearing and phone. So I wanted to know, is the parish going to mail them information?
Yes,
Or
yes.
How are we going to get this word out?
Yes,
Or just
absolutely.
rely on technology?
Yeah, no, we're gonna send out information to all the property owners affected.
Okay.
Yeah, you got some that are affected more than others.
That's what okay.
Yeah, so that it's gonna have to go out to each individual area based on how they're affected.
Okay.
But as a whole, in the parish, we can expect
Yeah,
water
right.
and sewage to go up.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, and my next question, I wasn't finished. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
my next question, number 4, you're saying we're passing it or tabling, what are we doing? Because I know last meet I tabled it, and according, I just want to know where we going with number 4.
We're setting it for public hearing.
Okay, so we still haven't had it for discussion after I tabled it.
Yeah, I just talked a lot on that first one because I
Yeah,
wanted
so
y'all to know.
when are
Yeah.
we going to do the discussion? Because after I table it, it should be up for discussion, not for a vote.
Well, we're not voting on it. We're voting,
Well,
move
we-
it to
we're voting
public
for a
hearing.
So I mean, I want to make sure all the members are aware of what we're doing. So I know I talked with the attorney, and we still ain't got no clear picture where we're going with this. And I know we got 2 people in the audience, whatever. So I need to know we table it to discuss it. I see y'all got it for a hearing on 4. So I just
Right
want-
now, it's stated to go to public hearing. Now, if you don't want it to go to public hearing, you can make a motion 1 through 3 to move to public hearing, and we don't even have to make a motion to move that to public hearing,
Okay, I just want a discussion with it.
but,
We can do a discussion at the next meeting. I mean,
yeah.
We can vote on
yeah,
it.
we can
We
do a
can vote on
discussion
it
at the next
separately.
meeting.
Yeah,
That's
the,
fine.
the discussion's gonna take
Yeah.
place at the public hearing.
Okay, that's fine.
Right,
Let's be fine.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
don't want to.
We good. So
Wait.
do I have a motion to move forward ordinances
I
1
make
through
a
4?
motion.
Yeah, I
1 through
second.
4.
I second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominic,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce, Jenkins,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Motion carries. Before the meeting, we had a resolution committee meeting, and we do have 2 resolutions that were brought forward for vote. First, let me just say that Resolution B, at the request of AT&T, it was asked to be tabled. That's not the one? No, that's the one. I know where I'm at. I'm sorry. Okay, Resolution A, to declare certain used movable property as surplus property and to be sold at a public auction in accordance with Louisiana law. And Resolution B is supporting the development of certain property located within the parish. Okay, I do have a request from the public to speak on Resolution B. Abort or, can't say your last name, man.
It's not as hard as it looks. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, my name is Bart Yakubzak, Yak for short. I represent the family-owned business that owns the land subject to this resolution. I thank you tonight for allowing me a few minutes to talk, and I spoke with Chairman Smith before the meeting and said that I've gotten a hook before, so I yield to him if I run longer than 3 minutes. Thank you to President Daigle and to Mayor Morris and his 2 aldermen as well, and Mr. Dunn and the staff for helping us with this. We are. I'm here representing a family-owned business. We're based in Calcasieu Parish. We own properties all over the state, and we represent 6 generations of landowners. We're in the business of taking care of our lands, whether that be in Calcasieu or here in your parish. We always aim to be a good neighbor and to manage our lands in a way that we'd like our neighbors to manage theirs. That said, this particular land has been owned by our businesses for 86 years. As many of you know, the family patriarch operated and owned a sugar mill at that location. Decades ago, it closed, and since then, we've largely been simply landowners and enjoyed hosting multiple tenant farmers on that property. We've always had a local land manager. Many of you know the late Mr. Sonny Adams. He helped us there at that property for years. And then now we have Mr. Jimmy Ewing who helps us. I think it's important to note that we've never listed that property for sale. We've never marketed it. We've been cooperative and supportive in parting ways with some tracts on the property over the years, whether it be with the town of White Castle or with Iberville Parish. You all are familiar with the Dorseyville School, that the land on which some of it sits was our land. The Our Lady Cemetery, we've divested land
to it, Waterworks District 3, others. And then now here tonight, we're here to talk about this state-of-the-art training center that the town of White Castle has planned and requested that we part with 3 acres there along the river to be what I think will be a very unique site and an opportunity to host that development. In doing that, we wanted to come before you and let you know that we look forward to working with you on projects that could come up on this track. And to be clear, the track we're talking about now is our track closest to the river. This property is between Dorseyville and the town of White Castle, west and east, and then north to the river and south to the railroad. So as you see, LA1 goes right through it, and then the river road is on the north end of it. We've had success in our parish, in Calcasieu Parish, in taking sites like this that have been historically agricultural use and contributing them to economic development, like light industrial and commercial, which our definition is non-smokestack development, like you see down the river in this parish and other parishes, but uses that would complement those developments. So we appreciate your consideration. I'm here to let you know that we're here to work with you and continue to develop these tracks as they go from one use to another.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, I need a motion on Resolution A. Motion by Terry,
I'll say.
second by Mr. Jordan. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
And this is on A only.
A only.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yeah.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Motion carries. I need a motion and a second for Resolution B,
Make
which,
a motion.
motion by Ms. Allen,
A second.
second by Mr. Frazier. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Motion carries. On the Planning Commission report, A, approve consideration of re-subdivision for Nancy Potan.
So, Council Chair, the Planning Commission voted to favorably to send that to y'all for approval, and it is on Kirtley Drive. Mr. Bradford is familiar with that area. It is a site behind the Potan House on the front, on that front 77. It meets the requirements. They voted favorably.
It's not actually a part
Right.
of the Kirtley subdivision. It's the Potat family developed the left side of Kirtley, and 20 lots were not included in the subdivision.
So you okay with that, Terry?
Yep.
Okay, I need a motion and a second.
I make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Allen,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Easley. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Motion carries. B, approval, consideration of re-subdivision for Jewel Lejeune and Dennis Cassard.
Yeah, the second one was also voted on favorably to bring to y'all for approval, and it is a resub of property. This is basically one tract into two small. I'm sorry.
It's in our area.
Yeah, it's in and yeah, it's a simple resub. It's one track into two tracks. It fit all the requirements of the
Can I get a
PC.
motion and a second?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
No. Mr. Bradford, who's second?
Second.
Ms. Allen? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce, Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Motion carries. C, approve consideration of re-subdivision for Maxine Gossam and others.
And this is another one that the planning commission voted for y'all to approve. This is a 2.83 acre tract that's being cut out of a larger tract, a 25 acre tract. It's a standard resub. It fronts Highway 991. It's River Road.
Whose district is that? Sure, it's okay, Mr. Morgan?
Yeah.
I need a motion, Cap. Motion by Mr. Morgan, second by Mr. Darden. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Motion carries. On the planning commission, D, at the request of AT&T, would like that tabled. So I need a motion and a second to table D.
Can I ask why? I was at the meeting.
Would you like to come speak, Ms.?
Let me just tell you,
Yeah.
there was a failure for to get a motion to approve. So I think
So we table it because we get a motion?
The planning commission did not.
Yeah,
approve it.
I'm on the planning commission,
Right.
that's why I'm asking.
Okay.
What did we do wrong?
I can clarify.
Okay.
Laura Carlo on behalf of AT&T, the applicant. AT&T was requesting the application is for a special use permit for the construction of a new cell tower down along Bayou Road, Bayou Plaquemine. To be clear, the proposed tower, as Parish, as Mr. Dunn can confirm, meets all requirements of your ordinance. That said, there were concerns raised by not adjacent neighbors, but neighbors at least a plot or two down about the tower at the planning commission meeting. And while we obviously disagree with the concerns that were raised, we are more than happy to allow an opportunity to address the concerns that were raised. And so, obviously, if the council is inclined to move forward tonight, we would ask for your approval. But if you do want to receive more information or gather more information about the questions and the concerns that were raised earlier, we are asking for a 1 month deferral.
Council Smith, I was on the planning committee, and I think only 2 people spoke, and I don't think no one asked questions when they asked. I think I did ask questions. I asked her what land, where about she lived, and she lived Shane. So I don't think I had any more questions to clear up what she asked. She was just saying that she doesn't want to look out her front door, and she had been on our property for 9 years. So I don't think I think I was clear. Mr. Dominic did stated that AT&T could look somewhere else, and so that's the reason why I was in favor. I wasn't confused with it, so I was on the plan B. So I mean, we're asking to table it. Why?
Well, at this point,
Why we table it?
okay, AT&T is requesting that, okay? Now, we do not have to
Okay,
take,
so I'm asking.
I need a motion and a second either to approve this or a motion and a second to table,
Okay.
whatever the council wants.
So she wants to table it because you saying that you didn't answer the question to the lady that spoke up.
Well, to be clear, I want your approval. I want your approval first and foremost. But if there are concerns that the council has that would lead you to doubt whether approval is appropriate, I would like an opportunity, based on what was said earlier, I would like an opportunity to address those.
I didn't have concerns. I was on the
I
plan.
think you missed the
Okay,
point that
Yeah.
we are working for our community,
Yes.
not AT&T.
Yes.
Oh, I
Okay,
understand.
You're
okay,
missing that point.
hey, council,
Okay.
we need one or two,
Yeah, I just want to
motions.
make sure when we table
Okay.
it, I want to know why we're tabling. So
I'm
she
not,
said
I'm not
it's-
dictating either one.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what and I spoke about the residents' concerns and,
Yeah.
back them 100%. As she said, they do not want it. And you spoke and said if there is any issues that you think you can address, which I don't know if the planning commission feels like there was anything, is there anything that we can go back and research and say, come back to a different, and I don't know.
That's supposed to be a done deal up here.
Yeah, with the,
All I need is a motion, Councilman.
Make a
I
motion
make
for
a motion that we do not want it. Our constituents don't want it.
Okay.
So we
Make-
don't understand that one.
No, make a
Make a motion to
motion to approve it.
approve it.
And get a second, and we vote either for it or against it.
Okay.
Right. I need a motion to approve by Mr. Dominique. Do I have a second?
To approve for a vote, correct?
Yes, to approve consideration.
Second.
Second by Ms. Allen. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I got.
Okay.
I like to know the reasons why these people don't want. I went at the meeting, and
You wasn't at the meeting.
I'm not on the planning commission board. y'all bring it to us. I mean, what did the people say? Why do they don't want it?
There's only 2 people that spoke.
No, I'm just, I'm asking.
Well, he's asking what?
Tell me why.
Hold up. He's asking a simple question. What the
I'm
two
not
people said?
saying I'm for it or against it. I just want to know why.
He wants to know the
The
two
lady
reasons.
said she lived in her house for 9 years. She doesn't want to look out the door to see that outside of her home.
They also, I spoke to, my phone has been blowing up from Bayou Estates residents. They received letters like we, decided to start doing, and none of them wanted it. I didn't get one good call about it. A lot of the issue was the location, some health issues that some of them had, concerns with that, as well as, like she said, they did not want it in their area.
All right, I understand that. All right, that's what I wanted to know. No, ma'am, Miss Parlaught, or y'all, like, say we vote this down tonight, are you guys still gonna look to put a tower somewhere else where the service is better by the Grove State Bridge and all that? I know that's the ultimate goal.
It's going to be AT&T's call. I will tell you, as I told the Planning Commission, and it's my job to say this, I know it's not going to be well received by any, aesthetic complaints about perceived health issues, those are prohibited as reason under federal law. Those are absolutely prohibited. That will get this jurisdiction sued if a carrier decides to go down that route. I'm not saying that's not what AT&T would do.
And also, they did research and they did contact several real estate agents, and they did tell them that it would depreciate the value of their homes.
I'd actually clarify, that was not on the record. That was not on the record. We had a resident stand up here and say.
She just said that's what was said. Okay. We understand the objections, right?
I just wanted to know the story of that.
Okay. That's it.
I would clarify that all of the residents that spoke in opposition are well outside the tower height. They are required to be notified under your ordinance because they are within 200 feet of the affected parcel, but they are well beyond any type of tower height if this thing were to, fall over.
I'm sure one of the residents said that in the board, that's within the thing that they think.
We have a motion and a second. We're in the discussion phase.
I'd like to make a substitute vote.
Okay.
What's the substitute? Gonna get sued. On this if we don't. If I can get a second on approval.
What the motion is to approve. The motion and second is to approve. No, you can't make a negative motion, Matt. You can't make a negative motion. You gotta make a positive motion, which that is, and you either vote it down or not.
So the motion on the floor is to approve, correct?
Absolutely.
You have a second. So if
Absolutely.
somebody wants to make a substitute motion to table, that would be the substitute motion to table.
Right.
Right now, the
we can
motion
table
on
it,
the
or we
floor
can
is
vote.
to approve.
Okay. And
Okay.
and I do think that was a legitimate mind. And look, and I said in the planning commission meeting, you wanted to know how they feel. When I got in office, I was put in place to represent my people. Okay, and that's what I'm gonna do. And the majority of them do not want it, and that's what I'm speaking for them. Okay.
All right.
So we
Any
understand
further discussion?
a motion, a yes on this vote is going to be a vote to approve the tower project. A no vote is a rejection of the proposed project.
Yes, sir. Okay.
There's no self-motion, right?
Roll call, please.
Allen,
No.
Eastwood,
No.
Dominique,
No.
Frazier,
No.
Pierce,
No.
Jenkins,
No.
Marcus,
Abstain.
Bradford,
Abstain.
Martinez,
No.
George,
No.
Jewel,
Yes.
Morgan.
Motion carries. If there's no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Motion and second. Meeting adjourned.